Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Elden Ring and we're doing another weapon video, and today it's going to be the top 12 best weapons. And now it's important to note that this is not a ranking from like number 12 being the worst and 1 being the best. This is just going to be showing the 12 best weapons. So if you disagree with ones that I've put on this list, or you think that I missed one that should have definitely been on this list, be sure to go down to the comment section and let me know that down below. But we're just going to dive on in and start off with number 12, the Hand Ballista. So as far as attributes required to use this one, it's strength of 30 and dexterity of 14. This one has a pretty ridiculous physical attack power of 600 and doesn't really have any special ability because you just have the kick special attack, and it cannot be upgraded with Ashes of War. As for getting this one, you have to get it over here in the Weeping Peninsula of Limgrave. So if you're at the Bridge of Sacrifice, you can make your way around and down, and then you can come up to the top of this hill, and it's going to be up at the top of this forest lookout tower. So just to show you the raw attack power of this weapon, it's pretty ridiculous. And as far as ranged weapons go, non-magical ranged weapons, there's really no peer to this weapon. It's pretty ridiculous. So, like I said, once you've made your way over here, you just have to go up this tower. And once you've made up your way up here, you just open up this chest, and you can pick it up out of the chest along with some ballista bolts. So that is how you get to the Hand Ballista. Let's move on to number 11. Alright, and so for number 11 on our list, we have another ranged weapon. This one is a bow, though, and it's the Pulley bow. Attributes required to use this one are strength of 11 and dexterity of 11, scales with strength and dexterity, and we've got a physical attack power of 188 plus 89. This one cannot be upgraded with Ashes of War, but it does have the Mighty Shot special ability, which most bows do, which is just a overcharged attack. So out of all the bows in the game, I find this one to generally be the best one, or at least for standard bows. If you're going for a great bow, you're obviously sacrificing your firing speed for quite a bit more damage. So here's going to be our Mighty Shot. And this is again just with standard arrows. As with all ranged weapons, you can get considerably more damage if you decide to use a different ammo type. So pretty useful as far as bows go. As far as getting this one, you have to make your way up here to the Mount Gelmir region, and right where I'm standing there is a siege tower, which it's going to be at the top of. And so if you go to the Gelmir hero's grave, it's just going to be past there. But yeah, right here on the map. So then we just go to the top of this tower. And you will find the bow on this corpse sitting here on the edge. So pretty easy to find once you've made your way up to Mount Gelmir. So that's number 11. Let's move on to number 10. Okay, so for number 10 on the list, we have the Carian Regal Scepter, which most people will agree is just overall the best staff in the game. Despite not having, you know, the highest magic scaling or attack power or something like that, it does have some pretty sweet abilities and really no drawbacks. So as far as attributes required to use this one, strength of 8, dexterity of 10, and intelligence of 60. We have a passive effect, which is that it boosts full moon sorcery. So if you use some of the most powerful spells in the game, this one gives you a pretty sweet boost. As for scaling, strength of D and dexterity of D, and then intelligence of S, so the highest scaling as far as any staffs go for intelligence. Our sorcery scaling on this is 287, and it does have a special attack, the spinning weapon special attack, which can be useful against lighter enemies. I find it pretty useful at keeping them at a distance, and it cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War. As far as getting this one goes, it's going to be through one of the main boss fights, so you make your way over here to the Rhea Lucaria Academy in Liurnia, and once you've made your way to the inner part, the Rhea Lucaria Grand Library, you're going to come up against one of the main bosses in the game, and it's going to be Ranella, who you can see sitting right here holding an egg. Once you've defeated her, you get the Remembrance of the Full Moon Queen, and you can take that to the Round Table Hold and trade it in with the Finger Reader Enya and get this staff. So that is how you get the Carian Regal Scepter. Alright, and at number 9 we have the Starscourge Greatsword. So you can see it's a pretty fun one, and when you use it in two-handed mode, it actually dual wields them, so it's one of the weapons that will actually allow you to have two just by dual wielding. As far as attributes required to use this one, strength of 38, dexterity of 12, and intelligence of 15. No passive effects. For attribute scaling, we have strength for B, intelligence of D, and dexterity of D. Pretty great attack powers overall. This one cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, and we of course have the overpowered Starcaller Cry special attack with this one. So the description for that attack is: bring the two swords together and roar into the skies, pulling in enemies with a gravitational wave. Follow up with an additional input to slam down with gravity-infused swords. So as you can see, it's going to look like this. Then you hit your special attack again, and you do a great big old gravity blast. So, pretty overpowered weapons, and of course a really, really great special ability. Not to mention, since the two-handed attack dual wields them, you can do quite a bit of damage with these weapons. As far as getting them goes, again, it's going to be another main boss fight. So, for this one, you have to fight the Starscourge Radahn, and to unlock that, you need to have used the Grand Lift of Dectus. So once you've gone up here and used the Grand Lift of Dectus to get into the Altus Plateau, you can come down here into Caelid and make your way into Redmane Castle, and there will be a special event going on called the Festival of Radahn, or the Starscourge Festival, can't remember, whatever it's called. And if you do that, you can initiate the boss fight with the Starscourge Radahn. Once you've defeated him, you can take his remembrance to the Round Table Hold and trade it with the Finger Reader Enya there, and that is how you get the Starscourge Greatsword. Pretty difficult boss fight to get this one, but a really great weapon, especially if you like greatswords. So that's number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Alright, and for number 8, we have the Winged Scythe, a lot of people's favorite Reaper in the game, and a pretty cool looking weapon. As for attributes required to use this one, Strength of 16, Dexterity of 16, and Faith of 24. It does have a passive effect, and that's that it causes a blood loss buildup of 55 points. For attributes, scaling, we scale with Strength, Dexterity, and Faith. Pretty great physical attack power, as well as some holy damage, which is excellent. You cannot upgrade this one using Ashes of War, but it does have the Angel's Wings special attack, which is a pretty great one. I know a lot of people like the special attack for PvP because it really screws up their the person you're fighting's ability to heal themselves. So the description says, jump and imbue the wing blade of the armament with light, and then deliver a slashing attack on the enemy. The white wings impede recovery actions using a Flask of Tears. So basically, when you use this against someone, they can't use their Flask of Tears to recover health. So like I said, it's great in PvP. So it looks like this, and once you've hit someone with that attack, they can't really heal. So as far as how to get this weapon goes, you have to be over here in the Weeping Peninsula. You come down to the Tombsword Ruins, and you go down into the little catacomb/cellar section. Down here, you'll have some pages to fight, and once you defeat them, you'll be able to make your way into this back room here, where you will find the Winged Scythe in this chest. So, like I said, pretty easy to get this one real early in the game, and it is an excellent weapon with a really great ability, especially against other humanoid enemies that will use a Flask of Tears in the regular game, and of course, PvP. So, there is the Winged Scythe. Let's move on to number 7. Alright, and at number 7, we have the Golden Halberd. So the first Halberd to appear on our list. As far as attributes required to use this one, Strength of 30, Dexterity of 14, and Faith of 12. Attributes scaling, we have Strength being primary with B, and Dexterity and Faith both having a D rating. This one, again, is going to have pretty great physical power, physical attack power, and of course a pretty powerful holy attack power as well. This one cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, but it does have the Golden Vow special attack. And so for this special attack, it says skill passed down from antiquity among the knights of the capital, raise armament aloft, and pledge to honor the Erdtree in battle, granting self and nearby allies increased attack power and defense. So this one is going to give you great attack power and defense boost, and if you're using it multiplayer, it will also give that to your nearby allies, or I guess if you're summoning someone to help you in a fight against various enemies throughout the game, it'll also help them. So pretty great there, and that's special ability just looks like this. And so that's going to give us a attack power boost and a defense boost. As far as where to get this weapon goes, this one's going to be extremely early game. So if you start off here at the first steps, like you do, and make your way down to the Church of Ela, you're going to notice a tree sentinel walking right on this road here. All you have to do to get this halberd is kill that tree sentinel, and he will drop it. So that is how you get the Golden Halberd. Like I said, really early game, and a pretty fantastic weapon. So that is number 7. Let's move on to number 6. And so for our number 6 weapon here, we have the Banished Knight's Halberd, which you can get, as I just showed you, by fighting Edgar the Revenger at the Revenger's Shack here in Liurnia. So I'll show you that in a little bit more detail. I had thought I already did that on this playthrough, but apparently I hadn't. But so yeah, that's how you get that weapon. Another halberd already on the list, but one that is very, very good. As far as attributes required to use this one, Strength of 14, Dexterity of 12, attribute scaling as C for both Strength and Dexterity. You can see we've got pretty great physical attack power on this one and nothing else. This one does come with the Charge Forth special attack, which it can be pretty useful, but it can be upgraded using Ashes of War, giving it much, much more powerful abilities and special attacks. So that is one of the things that makes it so excellent, along with its great physical attack power. So I started it off with the boss fight on this one because, like I said, I thought I had already done it, but this weapon can be gotten 2 different ways. For one thing, it will be a random drop from Banished Knight type enemies wielding it, and so you'll find some of those over here in the Stormveil Castle, or if you want to get it reliably and already upgraded to +8, you come over here in Liurnia to the Revenger's Shack. I think the first time you discover it and rest here, he does not appear, but then the next time when you fast travel here, Revenger, or Edgar the Revenger, will appear here, and once you've killed him, you can see that he drops the Banished Knight's Halberd +8, which also comes with the Spinning Strikes Ashes of War implemented on it. So not only can you get this one reliably here, but also already leveled up to +8. So that's great. And like I said, the Charge Forth special attack is not too bad. It's basically just a powerful thrust that's great for breaking through guards and dealing a lot of damage. So that is number 6, the Banished Knight Halberd, and where to get it. Let's move on to number 5. At number 5, we have the Reduvia, one of the best daggers in the game. So for attributes required to use this one, Strength of 5, Dexterity of 13, and Arcane of 13. For our passive effect, this one causes a blood loss buildup, and it scales with Strength, Dexterity, and primarily Arcane. So this one's going to be better the higher your Arcane level is. And you can see that we have a physical attack power of 193 plus 129, and a critical of 110. So this one actually does have a higher crit than a lot of daggers. And this one cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, but it does have the Reduvia Bloodblade special ability, which is pretty great. It sends forth a ranged attack, which deals hemorrhaging damage, which is really effective against most enemy types. And as you can see, it can be fired in rapid succession, making it extremely powerful. So pretty great weapon there. As far as where to get this one goes, again, it's going to be one you can get pretty early in the game. So if you make your way, you can see I'm in Limgrave, you make your way up this little river alleyway thing towards right around here by Murkwater Cave, and you'll be invaded by the Bloody Finger Neregus. And once you've defeated that Bloody Finger, you will pick up this weapon. So you can get it once per playthrough, and dual wielding these, especially with high arcane, is really, really powerful. Definitely a great weapon to go for, but that's number 5. Let's move on to number 4. So for number 4, we have the Misericorde. So another dagger, pretty cool looking one. As far as attributes required to use this one, Strength of 7, Dexterity of 12, no passive effects, and it scales with Strength and primarily Dexterity. For our attack power, Physical of 225 plus 68, so nothing too incredible there. I mean, pretty good, but nothing crazy. But it does have a crit of 140, making it just incredibly powerful for critical attacks. This one comes with the Quick Step special ability, which is pretty useful, but most importantly, this dagger can be upgraded using Ashes of War. My personal favorite to use on this one is the Bloodhound step, and I like to do the bleed effect for that. So it makes it an incredibly powerful weapon. As far as where to get this one goes, you're going to have to come over here to Stormveil Castle, come to the Rampart Tower Site of Grace, and then from this Site of Grace, we're going to go back through this doorway over here, and we're going to take this lift down. And of course, if you haven't done this lift before, you'll have to go through and around the other way to unlock it. But once you've used it, you can use it to come down here. We're going to go through this doorway into this hall where you'll find a little mini boss fight with a 4-armed guy. And then we come through here. You're going to need a stone sword key to get through a barrier here. And it will be on this little skeleton guy's body here on the ground. So that is how you get the Misericorde dagger. And again, this is going to be a once per playthrough thing. So if you want 2 of them, you got to do New Game Plus. Or I guess get someone to drop it for you. But that is number 4, the Misericorde. Let's move on to number 3. All right, and so for number 3... we have the Rivers of Blood Katana, a lot of people's favorite weapon overall in the game, and definitely one of the best katanas. As far as attributes required to use this one, Strength of 12 and Dexterity of 18, and also Arcane of 20. This one does have a passive effect, and that is that it causes 52 points of blood loss buildup. It scales with Strength, Dexterity, and Arcane. And this one is going to be great. It deals quite a bit of physical damage, a decent amount of fire damage, and obviously has a really, really powerful special attack called the Corpse Piler attack. Unfortunately, it cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, but given that it has really, really good stats to start with, and the Corpse Piler attack is so overpowered, it makes a lot of sense to have it on this list, at least in my opinion. And so that special attack is going to be right here. So it does these bloody slash type attacks that you can chain into several different strikes, and it's just ridiculously powerful. And it doesn't just damage the people that you hit with it, but those bloody hemorrhage attacks do a little bit of range damage in front of you, so you can hit multiple targets with them, and they don't need to be right next to you. So it just makes it a really, really powerful weapon. As far as how to get this one goes, you have to have made your way up to the mountaintops of the Giants region, so you need to have done the first boss fight at the Elden Throne, gone up through the Forbidden Lands, taken the Grand Lift of World up here, and fought your way up and around, all the way down to right here by the Church of Repose. And once you get here, you will be invaded by the Bloody Finger Okina, and once you defeat the Bloody Finger Okina, that invader will drop the Rivers of Blood Katana, as well as the Okina Mask. So that is how you get this weapon. Alright, and so for our number 2, our runner-up on this list, we have another katana, and it is the Moonveil. So, you know, if anybody doesn't like the Rivers of Blood, the next most likely katana to be their favorite is usually the Moonveil. So, pretty great weapon. As far as attributes required on this one, Strength of 12, Dexterity of 18, and Intelligence of 23, so this one does have an intelligence requirement. It has a passive effect, and that is that it causes a blood loss buildup of 50 points. For attribute scaling, we have Strength of E, Dexterity of B, and Intelligence of B. Pretty great physical attack power on this one, and even better magic attack power on this one. This one cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, but it does have the Transient Moonlight special attack, which is pretty powerful. So for that special attack, when you initiate it, you just go into the sheathed stance, and then you can either follow up with a light attack to do a sideways slash or a heavy attack to do a downward slash. And it's going to deal a pretty dang powerful attack that one-shots most mobs and is really effective against most bosses, especially if they're susceptible to magic-type damage. So, definitely an excellent weapon, well worth getting. As far as acquiring this one goes, it can be done relatively early in the game. You make your way into the Kaled region. I usually follow this path up here. And then you're right next to the Gale Tunnel, which is where this one is located. Once you get into this tunnel, you have to fight your way to the end and defeat the Magma Worm boss. And I'll just show you the path to get there. So we'll just zip through it. And once you've gotten to this point, that doorway right there is the one you have to open to access this cave via Limgrave, and this doorway is the one to the boss fight. So you come through here, you fight and kill the Magma Worm boss, and that is how you get the Moonveil Katana. So that's it for the Moonveil. Let's move on to the #1 weapon on this list. Alright, and so for our #1 weapon on this list, we have the Sword of Night and Flame. And of course this one, like I've said at the beginning of the video, this isn't really a 12 through 1, 12 being the worst, 1 being the best. But this weapon might arguably be the best and most powerful weapon in the game, even after they nerfed it, because it's just ridiculously powerful. As far as attributes required to use this one, we have Strength of 12, Dexterity of 12, Faith of 24, and Intelligence of 24. So this one is going to be an annoying sword that you have to have some magic intentions on your playthrough to wield this one, but that being said, it does make a ridiculously powerful weapon for any Spellblade type playthrough. For scaling, it's going to scale with Dexterity, Intelligence, Strength, and Faith, with Faith and Intelligence being its main ones, so they get a B ranking there. And for attack power, it deals a lot of different kinds. We got solid physical attack, magic, and fire. This one cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, but it does have the Night and Flame stance, which is absurdly overpowered. So for this one, you go into the stance, and then you can either do a quick attack, which is going to be a lot like the Azur's Comet attack, except it doesn't hold like the Azur's Comet one does. And then we have the Strength attack with it, which is just going to be a big old wave of extremely powerful flame damage. So like I said, very powerful weapon, and both as a sword and of course as an instrument for dealing magical damage. As far as where to get this weapon goes, it's going to be over here in Liurnia. You make your way to the Carian Manor subsection, and if you can come to the Manor lower level Site of Grace, it's really easy to get the sword. So I'll just zip through and show you the location. And so once you've jumped off those two ledges and make your way down the ladder, it'll be right in this chest right here. And so that is how you get the Sword of Night and Flame, one of the most ridiculously overpowered weapons in this game. And so that is my list of the 12 best weapons in Elden Ring overall. So like I said, if you disagree with the list, or you think I missed one that should have been on here, or I had one on here that shouldn't have been on here, let me know down in the comment section. But with all that in mind, that's all we're doing today. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.